In this episode of INN CEO Talks, we're talking about lithium with Canadian lithium prospecting company Brunswick Exploration, which has projects in Quebec and the Maritimes that are so massive the company can claim that they are a leader in the green rush. Joining me now is Killian Charles. Killian, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, it's my pleasure, and I love how you have. It's the first time that I've heard this, coined this phrase, the green rush, and you're perfectly situated. Tell us and our viewers about the lithium prospects that exist in Quebec and into the Maritimes, because so often we hear about other jurisdictions, but not Eastern Canada.
Actually, you know what? Eastern Canada and Quebec had been known for lithium, especially, there's some deposit in Namaska, which owned the Wabushi deposit here in northern Quebec, as well as Rose were critical elements. So Quebec had been known for some lithium deposits, but what we've really started to notice is that, systematic exploration is something that really hasn't happened in the province or in the Maritimes for that matter. It's starting to change, but we've really had many opportunities to, and as you point out, build some rather large portfolios in the grassroots lithium space, something that very few companies are doing. And, we are going to be the leaders on that front. Everyone is focused on existing known assets, but very few companies are really pushing the boundaries. And that's what Brunswick Exploration has always been about. It's about pushing the boundaries. And it really is a green rush. What we're moving into in terms of decarbonization, moving our economies the world over away from carbon, away from coal, gas, and oil is something that's never heard of. It's never been done before, and lithium, as well as a few other commodities such as copper and nickel, are going to be in very high demand. And so we're quite excited to be at the forefront here.
Tell me about the quality of lithium, because there are different ways in which lithium is extracted. So often we hear about the removal from a brine, but yours is coming from a mineral base. Tell us about what you have in the projects that you have underway right at the moment. Give us some sense of that mineralization.
Yeah, so really, broadly speaking, there's three types of deposits. So you'll have brines, as you mentioned. The classic example for that are in South America, the lithium triangle. So Argentina, Chile, Bolivia. They're very large, very low grade. They're water intensive in terms of processing. It's obviously an arid region. They typically form from ancient seas that have evaporated, and you're mining the seabeds. You also have clays. Those are often found in Nevada. Again, very large scale deposits, but again, very low grade. Our type of deposits that we're looking for, pegmatites, they're completely different from those two. They'll be typically much higher grade, say in the anywhere from 1 to all the way up to 4%. Which is 10 times richer than the richest clay or brine deposit out there. So quite a big difference in terms of grade. And these deposits were among the first one mined because there's a simple metallurgy to exploit them. So they're deposits that have, a lot of understanding. They, are easy to process, and it's also easy to convert that lithium, which is held in a special mineral called spodumene, into lithium carbonate. It's a process that's well understood, and it is something that most companies that are in the processing side of the business, the battery manufacturers themselves, are quite interested in having that type of product.
So what you're doing and the way that you are, addressing this need for lithium with your projects, are you, especially in the Maritimes and Quebec, an outlier at the moment?
I'd say in the Maritimes, you're starting to see a little bit more interest. Newfoundland is definitely starting to heat up, but we are definitely first movers in many of these areas. New Brunswick has seen very little prospecting for lithium, so we are definitely in the driver's seat there. Nova Scotia, which we're now expanding into that province as well, historically had, one or two lithium deposits. But again, we are first movers in that area, building an extremely large portfolio that has, known pegmatites. So that's a good sign. We just got to demonstrate that they contain lithium now. But if we can, then we're off to the races here. In Quebec, it's a little bit that same mentality where historically certain areas had been known for lithium, but people didn't look to push beyond those areas. So, we're on the what's called in Quebec the Côte Nord, the North Shore, in the Sept-Îles region of Quebec. That's an area that has seen no lithium exploration yet. We have identified pegmatites. We have identified the potential for lithium. This is an area that's lay completely dormant. Same thing for the Pontiac region, which is just south of Val d'Or, Malartic, Rouyn-Noranda, in the Abitibi region of Quebec. Known for lithium historically, but in terms of actual grassroots exploration, systematic exploration, it's non-existent. And so we're really able to build large portfolio before any of our peers get to move in. Even, billion-dollar companies are sort of scratching at the scraps that are left in many of these areas. So it's something that's quite exciting, especially when you look at how, the market is rapidly evolving. Historically, if I had a lithium project or a lithium mine, the only place I could process it was in China. So if I was in Quebec, I would have to make a commercially viable lithium product, then ship it all the way out to China. And so that's changing. We're now seeing battery manufacturers come back in the province. Just over the last few weeks, we've seen a large German chemical conglomerate called BASF, announce that they're going to build a new chemical plant in the province. You're seeing there's rumors of more companies doing so, taking advantage of the cheap power in the province of Quebec. But that's going to create a large amount of demand. I struggle to imagine how the mining industry is going to be able to supply all of these new chemical plants. And so, by being there and exploring in these areas, we're close to infrastructure. We're going to be able to potentially feed into this new demand. And that really gets us excited. No more need to have to ship our project, tens of thousands of kilometers. It's right in our backyard. And you can be sure that those same companies are going to be looking for deposits right in our backyard as well. So we have a great synergy to unlock over the coming quarters and years here. We're really well situated from that perspective. And that excites us a lot.
So you are an exploration company. What are your next steps?
Well, as you point out, we are going to be doing a lot of prospecting here. So it's going to be focused on that. The advantage here is that we can build very large portfolios, but also cycle through many of these targets rather rapidly. So over the coming months here, as we move into the summer, we're going to be sending out many field teams to cover all of these various pegmatites. Again, that's the deposit type we're looking at that we've identified on our properties. And they'll be collecting samples to analyze them for lithium. If any of these comes back bearing lithium, and we have hundreds to test, that's really the opportunity here. Any one of those could be a lithium deposit, and we have hundreds to go test. We're going to be moving very fast and looking towards doing drilling and progressing towards advancing any of these pegmatites of interest. So it's going to be fun, and it's going to be moving rather quickly as we look to test out many of these projects in the Maritimes and in Quebec. And at the same time, what we're going to be looking is to expand from here. The tools we've developed, the understanding that we've come from, compiling all of these claims in these provinces, we know we can replicate the success, elsewhere in Canada and even internationally. So we see a fantastic opportunity to continue leveraging this knowledge that we're creating inside Brunswick Exploration to not just be the forefront company in Eastern Canada, but be the forefront company in Canada. And, hey, we'll go for it. The world, why not?
Okay, Killian, when can we expect an update from you? When will you come back and bring us, new news?
I would like to say as soon as possible, but realistically, I'd say some point this summer. We're going to be working very hard, and it's going to be a program that we're extremely excited to get kicking off here.
Well, I know that we're going to have viewers who are going to be keen to get those updates. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.